Hello happy people, my name is Dan and welcome to another episode of GM48 Game Jam games. These are all games made within 48 hours around the theme of side effects. So let's see what we've got. Okay, so up first today we have got Yukon. And in Yukon you are in this little stranded hut in the middle of the Canadian outback. You've taken some poison or some chemical thing, which means you starve very, very quickly unless you source food in the wilderness. But of course you can also die of frostbite or coldness. Thankfully someone left a pack of sausages there, which is very kind, and I also ate a bramble, another bramble. What you have to do is survive as long as you can, and what you have to do is basically wait until the helicopter rescues you and eat stuff to survive and not die of cold. I didn't manage to make it to the end because it's quite a long time for them to rescue you and you die quite quickly. Also, I found the collision is a little bit odd on this one. So when you move around, you are put into the trees and walls, not put into, but you sort of collide into them quite quickly and quite easily. There's an abandoned cottage full of food here, always a welcome treat. I sort of hung around in here, so my you see on the right my thermometer is going back up, so I'm getting warm again, but I am also starving, so I ate that entire shelf of food immediately. It's an interesting concept. There's a lot of exploration going on and you have to survive as long as you can until the helicopter rescues you. The only thing I did find is I do like the art style as well, the sort of paintbrush style. It's an interesting one, not one I often see. I found it a little confusing because I can just walk off the edge and it's never clear where the next stage is. That's my little hut there, so you see that's the dead rats and the chemical thing. But yeah, I do find that it's a little difficult if I do. Oh, there's another little hut here, so that was nice. I do just wander off the edge sometimes, and it's not overly clear once I have wandered off which parts I can and can't explore. I think maybe a few little indicators that, like a little mini map or something, might have helped with this one. I'm just gaining some warmth, and I was waiting out the clock, and I decided to eat that bag of misc food, I suppose. It does have that whole stranded in the middle of a nowhere atmosphere, which I think was quite cool. I went out for a wander again, and where did I wander to? I'm just on this big thing of trees. More brambles. Delicious, delicious brambles. Yeah, like I said, I didn't survive overly long, but I found the concept itself interesting and I enjoyed this one. So let's see what else we've got. Okay, so up next we have got Side Quest, and in Side Quest you are in a rock paper scissors match against enemies, defeating them. As you see there, I just destroyed that one. You have to draw some cards and beat their cards. There is a lot of text here, as you can see. There's a lot of, you get a side effect, but you also get triple money from this battle, and then you go on to the battle. So the main feature here is the battling, and that's what the sort of core concept is. You have a certain, I don't know what SLP stands for. You see it says draw for SLP, draw some slurps. I'm not too sure, but you have so much amount you can draw for cards. There's a pink background here, which means if you put a scissors, which I've got there, into a blank spot, then you also take some health away from them. But I think they can also take health from you if they use your blank spots or a card that your so if they used a card against me, like if I put that paper there, I think they they attacked that one and I lost a health. It's an interesting idea. It's a fun battle system, not one I've seen before. I do like the sort of card based battle system, but it is mostly around the battle system, and there's not a lot else beside. So you see there I'm putting the scissors into the blank spaces and taking away some health from them. I feel like the story side of it is mostly saying rather than showing, which gets a little bit confusing when there's a whole lot of text going on. So I should really take some more time to read it. But the action itself is an interesting one, and I did end up defeating this guy. And then you get randomized battles as you go along. All the battles do different things and have different side effects. So there's clearly a lot of thought and effort putting into this. I think the story could do with perhaps shortening a little bit, but overall this is a good concept and I enjoyed it. Just a heads up, the next two games do not have sound, so cue the backing track. Okay, so up next we have got die drop. And in die drop, what you have to do is drop the colours into the rectangle at the bottom, and they have to match that colour. What I think they are going for here is perhaps it looks like they're going for something that will be a mobile game, hence the vertical orientation. So I assume that's something they're planning. The controls are a little unclear, so you see at the top you've got those rectangles that denote the size of the drop, so that changes every 5 clicks, and then a few of the arrows are highlighted, they just changed there. What that means is those are the sort of challenges you face in that level, like certain shapes are moving up, down, left, right, rotating, that kind of thing, and that's fair enough. I thought they were buttons, and it took me a little while to realise they weren't. So maybe a few sort of changes in the graphic user interface might help with that. But what I'm doing here is basically, so you see at the bottom the box is purple, so I'm just mashing together red and blue because, as I was taught in primary school, that makes purple. I'm so smart. Well, no, it's confusing a little bit with the graphic user interface, but I did enjoy the physics, the goopiness of the blocks of colour, the way they interact and blend together to turn into a different colour. That is very, very clever. And I win the level when I fill up the box with the colour. So on the left-hand side, that bar is going up to indicate if I win, and I did. So now I am facing an orange box. Now, this is, if I remember right, red and yellow. That makes orange. So you see there I'm pouring these explosive goops in, and it is just turning orange. I think a lot of it can just be resolved by spamming the mouse. It has to be, you have to click in the highlighted light grey area at the top to drop the squares in, and you have to fill up the box. It's a simple concept. I have no issues with it. Like I said, the only concern I have is it's a little confusing to begin with, what I'm meant to press and what I'm not meant to press. But overall, that was an interesting one, and I enjoyed it. And finally today we have Be Slimed. And in Be Slimed, what you have to do, you are this little pixel splodgy white character man. And what you have to do is you have to absorb the enemies, and in doing so you gain their power. You're a little bit like Kirby in that effect. What you do is then you turn the colour of the slime you've beslimed and defeat the opponents, which in this case I grab the blue ones and I can defeat the red ones and vice versa. It's interesting. The only issue is then green ones come along, and I wasn't sure what was impervious to green ones. The thing is, the mouse button that you use to click around here, that is both pick up and use power. So it's a little bit uncertain whether I'm trying to pick up a slime or use its power, because if I have one slime's power I can't absorb another slime until that power wears out. So I think maybe mapping those to 2 separate controls might have made a difference. I did shoot a rock there, that's the green one's power, and then there's purple ones, and the purple ones have, look at that, a snazzy laser. I think that's really cool. There's a lot of slimes, it gets intense very quickly, so I did die quite quick. But I found this interesting. I think maybe just some tweaks to the controls might have helped, because I died, as you see there. But overall, that's an interesting concept as well. Okay, so that's going to wrap it up for today. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, stick around. I'm probably going to do one more of these. I know there's about 7 more games left to go, so there might be a couple I don't get around to. But I will do at least one more. Until then though, bye!